Hey guys, Hailey Lain aka Key Black here, and welcome back to another episode of Off the Cuff. Today I am joined by two very special guests, Jessica Calais Sheffield.
Hello.
And Mon Pian.
Hello.
And today we were actually going to talk a little bit about like our editing experience. I've been doing, video editing and audio editing for years now. You guys have been doing it for a long time too, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think Mon Pian has been doing it at least a year longer than me, but when did you start?
Oh my god, like at least sort of like 10, 8, 9, 10, 11, at some point. Because back then,
Years old?
yeah, years old. Like back then there wasn't really much else to do on a computer but create stuff, put stuff together. We didn't have social media.
You just did it for the love of the nerd.
Yeah, you sort of like, okay, this is a machine. What can I do with this machine? It wasn't really for chatting with friends and stuff because you did that in real life.
Yep.
I left the house and talked to my friends. So a computer was just like, what do I do with this thing? Oh, there's a program
play
here.
with it.
Yeah, right? Let's make stuff.
I have fond memories of opening Windows Movie Maker and like making my own pseudo AMVs out of GIFs I would find on Google and just like, whatever music we had
100%.
stored on the computer.
Yeah, the first thing I remember messing with outside of MS Paint, because everyone messed with MS Paint,
Oh
right?
my god.
Was there was a program that was made for architects to design different things, like design houses. And basically, I played Sims before The Sims was a thing. Because I would,
Yes.
you'd make your
Oh
own
my
house and
God.
you'd be like, and then I'll arrange this, and then I'll arrange that. And, now there's different games for that, but, it used to be use your imagination and use what you had in front of you.
I confess I did not use the architect program. I don't even know what you're talking about. That's some next level
program.
shit.
How autistic you think I am. How autistic I actually am.
See, I just played The Sims. I did normcore.
That's why I never got into Sims. See, I had done that shit on my own.
We're over here like, oh, we made AMVs and stuff. Jess is like, yeah, I designed houses.
The architecture program was amazing.
What
Original sandbox.
Right.
But yeah, like messing
Oh
with
my
computer
God.
stuff, it's funny because, I know there's probably a few people saying, well, that's not like, production and editing and creativity. It's like, actually, if you think back to a lot of internet famous people today, they did the exact same stuff. Like, I remember seeing Neil Cicierega talking about how he got started, and it's the exact same stuff that we used to do.
Yeah.
And the programs haven't changed at all. Like,
years.
I don't edit these days. I think the last thing I edited was like years ago. But I sometimes watch Hailey editing and I'm like, it's the same stuff.
It's the same linear workflow. Like,
If it ain't broke.
like Premiere is basically the same interface as Movie Maker was, like with some more bells and whistles on it.
Yeah, Premiere and Photoshop have not changed in like 15, 20 years.
Also, you have been doing editing. You've been making memes. You are very fast at making
Yeah.
visual memes.
You make memes quick, and the only time I do editing is
Yes.
if I absolutely have to do it, because I used to do it all the time when I was young, but I think my friend Luke described it perfectly. Video editing is the closest thing we'll have to a time machine. You look at the clock and it just disappears.
It's true.
I'm like, I've got so much other stuff to do. Oh God.
But you're good at it. It's like I'm picturing you as the most interesting man in the world meme. I don't always video edit.
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it a lot. I'm trying to think of the first music video I made that actually got online, and it was back in 2000. animemusicvideos.org.
Nice.
Is that one of the One Piece?
Good
ones?
old days.
I still have that One Piece one you did of I'd have to find it. I have it saved somewhere.
I've made a bunch of music videos. I don't know how many are surviving out there, but one was like Bud Light's tribute to Frankie, and it was based on the real men of genius, Mr. Tiny Thong Bikini Wearer.
Yes.
And then I also had a song by Moxie Frubus, who a friend of mine was really into their music, and it was called The King of Spain.
That's what I was thinking
and
of.
so I took this, I took this One Piece filler arc that was actually the least crappy filler arc that One Piece did. And I remember going, hey, I think I can turn this into a music video. And I think that was one of the things that you and I, like, found each other on. It's like, I made that music video, and it was like, oh, you took a filler arc that was pretty crap and actually made it fun.
Those were the days, man.
That was the one right after Skypiea, right? Zoro, that fiend, he's mopping our floors.
Yeah, he's mopping our floors. The fiend!
God,
Yo, those were the days.
It is funny when I think back to like where I got my start. I mentioned using Windows Movie Maker a lot, but when I really think back, I think the very first bit of quote unquote video editing I did was I made a Yu-Gi-Oh animation by drawing each frame in Paint and then importing them into PowerPoint, setting all the slides to 0 seconds, and then the presentation was like, this is my animation. It was like basically a glorified flip book on the computer. I wish I still have that.
That's all animation
it's
is.
It's the same
flip
thing.
book.
It's just like there's no way to video record it.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know, a lot of people will ask you questions like, how do I get into blah? And the answer that no one really likes is, if you're not already into it, you're probably never gonna get into it.
Yeah.
Like, you will find something that you find interesting, and you'll just do it.
Yep.
I think the other mistake people make is they invest. Like, they're like, I'm going to be a video editor, and they buy all the programs and all the equipment, and then they just don't do anything with it. It's like...
I've made that mistake.
If you really want to do something, you just use Shotcut. It's free, it's open source, it's brilliant.
It's true. It's true. Like, you'll find a way to make it happen if you really want to.
Exactly. MS Paint, it's still there. You can use it.
They've actually made it better too. Like, I've seen people using layers and transparency on MS Paint, and I'm like, that was unheard of when I was a kid.
You can remove the background now.
Insane.
Why would anybody have Photoshop? Why do I have Photoshop? Why am I not just using MS Paint?
I remember Photoshop 4.0, and I think 4.0 was the one where they introduced the animation timeline, and it was like game changing. Everyone went insane because it was suddenly you could make GIFs and suddenly you could like do silly animations.
Yeah.
Took forever though.
Yeah, the animation in Photoshop is still pretty janky.
Yeah, the first Photoshop I ever used, I think, was Adobe Photoshop Elements. Like, I think it might have been the first one, because I don't remember a number after it. I just remember, oh hey, this comes with Adobe Photoshop Elements.
One of my tablets
4
came
is
with
like
that too.
Windows 95 level. It's super old. I think it was like 4, then 5, then I want to say Elements, then 6 was the major
That
update.
must have been it, because the first animation I ever did was using Photoshop. I basically just made layers and then saved each layer. You know, I saved it as a GIF, and so that's how I did animation.
That was pretty late, yeah. Like the first time Photoshop put an animation timeline thing in their program was like super early nerd days. People were like, holy shit, this is game changing. And from then on, it's always been a feature of Photoshop. But it's not that good.
No, it's not.
See, I wish I'd known about that, because I never had Photoshop. I only had Photoshop Elements, and Elements didn't have that.
Yeah.
They didn't have folders, and they didn't have the animation pane.
God, you're bringing back memories.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I got started with Corel Painter and Photoshop Elements from like my first Wacom Bamboo Fun tablet.
Oh,
Like,
see,
they were all packaged
see,
in.
she had a
like,
Wacom. We were doing shit with a mouse.
That rollerball.
You get so good with the rollerball.
As I swirl
Or
around
the
my apple
nub.
juice. Like, oh yes, I had my Wacom Bamboo.
I did get a Wacom though. I got a Wacom Intuos 2.
Ooh, that was a pretty good one.
That lasted about 12 years. It was a great tablet.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first tablet I ever got, I think was it was like a, I don't even remember. It wasn't a Wacom. It was some random thing we found at the exchange, and it worked pretty
Some
well. It was
knockoff.
like this big. Like the draw pad was like 3" by 4".
Oh my
you know?
god, yes.
And it worked great for a short amount of time, and then when that died, I think my friends helped me get an actual Wacom, and that thing was amazing.
Yeah.
In comparison.
all the
Yeah.
pressure sensitivity, and it's like,
you got
oh.
the same one. So it was I pitched in to get you that interwebs.
That's
and I was
right,
like,
okay,
she's got to
yeah,
get the same
'cause I
one that I've got.
I remember that, yeah. It's like, please do more. And I was like, okay.
I have to
Please draw.
to give her the proper equipment. I have to save her.
Yes, don't use that anymore. Please use
God.
this.
Oh, God. But yeah, so it's fun because, like, every time, you know, we're working on different projects that, you know, like, we've all got our own projects going on. I've got the works, and Hailey, you've got Off the Cuff, as well as a bunch of other things. And then
Yep.
Mon Pien, like, you know,
I have my
she's
one
doing
meme a year.
memes like crazy, but they're
good
for
memes.
us. They're not for... You know, they're not really for posting elsewhere. It's just
My,
like, you know,
my private collection of memes.
Yes.
it's what museums used to be. You used to come to someone's house and see their stuff in their place. It wasn't a public affair.
Although-
and then like whenever Mon Pien comes on, we're just like, oh god, yes, the memes.
Although the rare occasion that you do share them, it's because nobody memed the time that actually happened.
Yes.
Oh god, I can't believe that went viral and got a million freaking hits.
It's perfect.
It's actually almost 2 million now.
Oh my god. It is like, it's perfectly edited. The timing is exactly right. It actually sounds like it's properly mixed the way that the show would have mixed it. So it's a little bit jarring.
See, Mon Pien is the Hideo Kojima of mixing.
Memes.
true.
Jeez.
The DNA, the soul. Well, I think that's a pretty good place to cut it off, guys. Thanks so much for listening and for watching, and thank you two as well for joining.
Yeah.
Yeah, memories.
And I hope you guys enjoyed it. We'll see you in the next one. Thanks again.
Bye.
Bye.